Starting us off with number 10, we have the one and only Dry Bowser. In some of the Mario games, whenever you defeat Bowser and he falls into the pool of lava, Kamek will use his magic to bring Bowser back to life in the form of Dry Bowser. And considering we get to see Kamek in the trailer, there's a pretty good chance that he will do the same thing in the movie. Kind of like in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, whenever Jack Horner comes back out of the nanny bag, but this time he's big and even stronger, therefore setting up one last final battle before the end of the movie. Maybe the Mario movie will do this exact same thing with Bowser coming back to life after they think they fully defeated him for one last final climax where they have to face off against Dry Bowser. And to be honest, I genuinely do see them doing this in the movie. I just hope that before doing this, they at least hint that it's possible in the first place, so that way it's not too random for anybody who doesn't know the game's lore. But with that said, let's go ahead and move on to number 9. And number 9 is actually Toadette. Although she's not really a fan favorite, and to be honest, I haven't really heard anybody ever say that they wanted her specifically to be in this movie, there's still a likely chance that she will make an appearance. I mean, at this point, with all of the Mario movie trailers, we've seen the alarming amount of Toads that are going to be in this movie. So who's to say that we're not going to also get a couple Toadettes sprinkled in there as well? Mainly so there's a bit more variety when it comes to the background characters. To be honest, I can't really see Toadette playing an important role in the movie. I just really feel like she'll eventually show up as a background character, more or less. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Toadette. Now let's go ahead and move on to number 8. And speaking of Toads, next up on our list is the one and only Toadsworth. Serving as almost a father figure to Princess Peach, Toadsworth is pretty much a hybrid between your stereotypical Toad in the Mario franchise and Alfred from Batman. Pretty much everything I said about Toadette's character and her possible appearance in the Mario movie also applies to Toadsworth. Except with Toadsworth, I feel like we have a little bit more of a chance of seeing him in the movie, or at the very least, seeing him having a bit more of an important role compared to the stereotypical Toad or Toadette, especially because of how protective he is of Peach. Maybe we could have a scene or two where Peach instructs him to look over the Mushroom Kingdom while she's gone, going on some adventure to help Mario save Luigi. But as for now, that concludes all of the Toads that will be featured on this list. Now moving on to some more, well, unique characters. Y'all knew she was going to be on this list eventually. Number 7 is Rosalina. As the more dedicated Mario fans will realize, there's actually been a lot of clues hinting towards Mario Galaxy in this Mario movie trailer. Whether it's Luma locked up in Bowser's cage, or Peach outright telling Mario that there is other galaxies. It definitely seems like there's going to be some sort of connection between this movie and Mario Galaxy. And although I doubt they're going to introduce Rosalina in this already action-packed, jam-packed movie, there is a chance that they may feature her for some sort of in-credit scene type deal, teasing the next Mario movie, if Nintendo decides to go that route. I personally feel like it's going to be more likely to see her maybe in a different movie in the future, maybe one actually centered around Mario going into space. But who knows, there's always the possibility that she at least makes some sort of little cameo in this movie. And with that said, let's move on to number 6. Now before you say anything, just hear me out. Who doesn't want Waluigi in the Mario movie? I don't think there is a single soul who wouldn't want to see my guy Waluigi in the Mario movie, except for maybe Sakurai, but you know, not including Sakurai. Who else would genuinely not want to see Waluigi on the big screen? I mean, come on. It's about time Nintendo gives him some, and just barely an ounce of respect. I mean, come on, man. Bringing him into this movie would be the perfect way to give him the respect that he deserves. For too long has Waluigi been looked down in the eyes of Sakurai and pretty much the rest of Nintendo as well. Either add him to Smash Bros or add him to the Mario movie. That's right, I'm still salty that Waluigi never made it to Smash Bros. So come on, at least put him in the Mario movie. But of course, what's Waluigi without his trusted partner in crime, Wario? Now, although I was kind of playing off Waluigi's spot on this list as kind of a joke, I genuinely do feel like he does have some sort of chance of appearing if he appears alongside Wario. Wario and Waluigi would make very good character foils story-wise to Luigi and Mario. And considering how the relationship between the two is in the games, I'd say we're more likely to see Wario than Waluigi make an appearance in this movie. Although considering that so far neither of them have been featured in the trailers, I highly doubt that they're gonna make an appearance, but it would be super cool and still wouldn't crowd the movie too much if they still end up like becoming little side villains for Mario on his way to rescue Luigi. Or better yet, have Mario rescue Luigi, then Wario and Waluigi come in, so that way we can have all four of the brothers fight each other. Nonetheless, whether it's this movie or the sequel, I do have a strong feeling that eventually we will get to see Wario and Waluigi on the big screen. Well, I mean, that's considering if Nintendo even does sequels to this. And while we're on the topic of side villains in the Mario universe, next up on our list, number 4, is actually the Koopalings. Although they're nowhere to be found in the most recent mainline Mario title, known as Mario Odyssey, that doesn't mean that they have yet to be forgotten by many beloved fans. The Koopalings are some of Bowser's most prominent little mini-bosses, and considering how Bowser's already gonna be the main villain during this Mario movie, I can very well see the Koopalings also playing a part whenever Mario and the gang are traveling through the kingdoms. The only downside to this is considering how many Koopalings there are in the games, introducing all of them, then having Mario have at least one fight with all of them might be a bit of a chore for both the viewer and the actual plot itself. But luckily, it seems like I have found the perfect character to be featured in this movie that includes all the pros of the Koopalings without the cons. Bowser Jr. Pretty much every good thing I said about the Koopalings and everything that they could bring into this movie, Bowser Jr. would do better. The only issue there was with the Koopalings being in the Mario movie is that with how many there are, it would be practically impossible to introduce them all and have them all fight Mario each. But Bowser Jr. quite literally single-handedly solves this by just being, well, only one boss, only one person. There's like so many Koopalings, but there's only one Bowser Jr. If Bowser needed a right-hand man, especially one to keep Mario distracted while he tries to search for that power star he's looking for, then who else could do a better job than quite literally his own son? But speaking of right-hand mans, Bowser may not be the only one who needs one. That's right, number 2 is Yoshi. And I know what y'all are thinking. Technically, in one of the trailers, we did see a clip of a bunch of Yoshis, meaning that putting Yoshi on this list is breaking the rules that I set in stone at the beginning of this video for this top 10. But just hear me out, because I'm not talking about any type of Yoshi. I'm talking about specifically the Yoshi that stands by Mario throughout all of the Mario franchise. All of those different types of Yoshis that we saw in just that half a second of footage in the Mario movie trailer, yes, they were the Yoshi species, but they weren't the Yoshi. They weren't the one that helps out Mario on his adventures. Therefore, I am actually not breaking the rules of my own top 10. In fact, the other Yoshis appearing in the trailer only brings this Yoshi on this list even higher up, because this scene in the trailer most likely means that we will already get to see Mario, Peach, and Toad go to like Yoshi's Island or something like that during the movie, where they can actually possibly meet the main Yoshi and have him also help them out. Personally, I feel like story-wise this is too good of an opportunity to be missed out on. And although it is confirmed that we will be getting a couple of Yoshis in this movie, I wonder if we will get our main Yoshi that appears in the Mario franchise. And with that said, let's go ahead and move on to number 1. That's right, number 1 on this list is the girl herself, Daisy. I feel like Daisy is a very underrated character in the Mario universe and really deserves more screen time in the mainline Mario games. She made her first appearance in the Super Mario Land series for the Game Boy, which for some reason just didn't really have Peach as the main damsel in distress. Although her first few appearances lacked of any personality, over time she really grew to be her own character, separate from from Peach, and the thing that made her stand out the most is her more adventurous, go-getter attitude, something that Peach seems to lack considering how much she gets kidnapped by Bowser. Daisy's adventurous personality would work really well considering the plot for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and it seems like a bit of her characteristics kind of rubbed off on Peach for the Mario movie to work, and so Peach isn't just another damsel in distress again. This time she's actually helping Mario save somebody else from Bowser, which when we're talking about the games seems like something Daisy would be more likely to do instead of Peach. But just because this is the case, it doesn't mean that Daisy doesn't have to be in this movie, especially considering that based off of the trailers, at some point during the movie we will get to see a sort of sand-like kingdom, and back in Daisy's first ever appearance in the Mario franchise, she was the ruler of Rosalina, which coincidentally enough is a sand-like kingdom. And although it does seem like they're gonna go for more of a Mario Odyssey type sandy kingdom, it still could work, and I could still totally see Daisy being the ruler of that kingdom instead.